Hey guys, welcome to The Bachelor the morning after. It was a very special episode. The fence jump finally happened, so I decided to bring in my very special guests, my best friends. We got Jared, Jade, and Tanner, Tolbert, and Emmy.
Hi.
And she knows Colton. I feel like she could really give her opinion on him.
What do you think, Emmy?
She's
Good take. It's a good take.
Smart. I like
Alright.
it. Intuitive.
Where should we begin? Should we just breeze over the Tasha thing just for like 1 second because it was the most boring 30 minutes we had to get to?
They dragged it on so much. Maybe it's because the whole Hannah G date didn't happen, so they had to fill airtime.
Absolutely.
But I felt like it was the most in-depth date ever, which sucked because it was the most boring date ever.
So
There
boring.
was nothing of like substance in those conversations.
No.
No,
Such
I
a
agree.
drag.
It was just, like you said, it was the most in-depth fluff thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
Except for the morning after they got out of the fantasy suite,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden it seemed like she was not as into him anymore, that something totally went down that she didn't want to elaborate on.
I think she got shut down.
I think she did too. I think
Yeah.
she got rejected and she felt silly or embarrassed, and then it got weird.
She tried to take that V card, but it got denied.
I think she knew. I think she knew that it was over because it was obvious that he didn't want to sleep with her. He didn't want to give up that V card to her. So I think she knew it's not me.
I actually think that Colton may have been open to losing his virginity in one of the fantasy suites. I think he actually intended on it with Cassie.
Just totally, yeah.
I think
Yeah.
so too.
Yeah.
And I think that was going to be his big move to Cassie to be like, you're the one.
Right.
All right. Any other thoughts on Tasha before we
No, that's about it.
scoot on over?
All right, well then how do we feel about the fact that obviously over the past 2 weeks, Cassie, when the whole Cassie drama happened.
Right.
Yeah.
And, people were saying that she wasn't there for the right reasons, that she just wanted to be there for the Bachelorette or for like the parties and the influencer life.
Kerpa is somewhere at home screaming at
Seriously.
her TV. I told you so.
Oh, I know. I think Kerber's coming on the podcast today, and she's going to talk about like what she
really?
heard. And you'll see in Women Tell All, Katie spills the tea where she heard about the rumor, well, not the rumor, where she heard the conversation won't go
So
down anyway.
interesting.
I mean, it just validates everything.
Right.
Everything that Katie was saying about Cassie. Now, we don't know about Kaylin, but the fact that those
But
two
they are
seem to be in
tied
cahoots.
together.
But she's playing it wrong then, because if she still wants to be the Bachelorette, you can't say I'm not ready.
Okay, but don't you think that the entire reason that she was like, I have to leave, I will not even I won't give in to his pleas, was because she thought that by leaving third that she could be the Bachelorette?
But do you think was she into it if the dad didn't come? If she didn't find out that the dad didn't give the blessing, would she have just?
She was not into it. Did you see it? Because I was watching that date. Did you see the way she kissed him when they first came out? When he was in that convertible, it was literally a peck.
Why don't you reenact it? How
It was honestly, she was like, "I'll be Cassie, you're Colton." She was like, "Hi, hi, it's so good
Yeah.
to see you."
Well, I looked for
It's like we haven't seen him in like a week, and then I mean, granted, we kind of knew that something bad was going to happen because they're promoting it. The fence jump happening this week. Oh, Emmy,
You saying hi to Colton back there?
say hi.
Hi.
I just don't think, and even here's the thing. I don't think the dad coming changed the fact that she wasn't into him.
No, I think she was gonna leave either way.
I don't know if she was going to leave, but I don't think she's been into him. I think
thought
she's
that
been.
she was gonna stick around even if the dad didn't come?
I think she probably would have stuck around
See,
until he was
yeah.
about to propose, and then she was going to freak out.
I guess
and
I'm
leave.
drinking like the Kool-Aid because I thought she changed her whole demeanor when he was like, "Yeah, I talked to your dad and I didn't get his blessing." And
She's like,
I think
"What?"
the
She went,
producers told him to say that because they obviously knew the dad was flying in.
Yeah.
And they were trying to set that up, but I think I think her whole demeanor changed. I don't know. So maybe I believe it. I believe her.
I think the dad. Am I allowed to swear on this?
Yeah.
I think the dad kind of mind f***ed her because at 1 minute he's saying it can't happen this quick. There's not enough time. There's not enough time. And then literally 30 seconds later, her dad said, "When you know, you know." I'm like, which one is it? You need time, or is it a first thing? And,
absolutely.
and it just really seemed like he was like trying to make it not happen.
He just didn't want his 23-year-old to get engaged.
Right.
Jared had quite the issue with what he said about you have no doubts.
Well, no, I mean, I just feel like, and Colton put it he put it really well later on in the night where he said different relationships move at different paces.
Yeah.
And so, exactly,
No.
this relationship compared to that
Right.
relationship. And so, what really bothered me about the whole Cassie thing was the fact that even later in the night, Colton was giving her an out. Because her whole thing was, it's too fast to get engaged, so I need to leave. Her whole
Right.
thing was, up to that point, she said she saw a lot of potential. She just didn't know. She needed more time. And Colton saying, I will give you
Yeah,
more time.
Colton
We
says, I don't
to
need
get
an
engaged."
engagement.
Yeah.
And she,
Colton said everything perfect, I thought. I thought
Oh my
he
God,
was
he
great.
did so
Col-
well.
Colton handled the situation perfectly. I
Yeah.
wouldn't have changed a thing.
can I say one thing I would change?
What?
for it.
Oh.
Okay, the only thing that rubbed me the wrong way was on the date with Cassie. In the morning, he was saying,
yeah.
I hope to be in love with Cassie by the end of this date. Like that, I want to be in love with Cassie, but this date's gonna be big nut, right? 5 hours later, before the night portion, he's like, I'm in love with Cassie now. She completes me. Like, she's the one. I was like, how did it go so quickly in the other direction?
And I told him when he was expressing this annoyance that I think it was a pickup interview
Could've.
in which he was saying like, I am now, I'm in love, she's my everything, she completes me. I was like, they went back and taped that months later because they needed to fill in some
Right.
gap as to how he went from that feeling the morning of to that feeling
Yeah,
during the night
the
portion.
editing for this must have been a nightmare for them
Oh my
because
goodness.
it doesn't follow the Bachelor playbook. I mean, this Fantasy Suite's kind of, hey, this is how we do it, 3 days, da. They must have had a nightmare trying to like fill a whole episode
Yeah.
first of all,
Yeah.
As
and then
a
make it
fan,
flow.
though, I'm loving it. Like,
Oh, it's great.
Absolutely.
It's so different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing.
The conversation between Colton and Cassie in the night portion was the most real, raw conversation I've ever
Yeah.
maybe seen in the history
I
of the
was
show.
crying. Tara's
I
like,
know.
are you crying? I'm like, yeah, this is real feeling.
Oh, the way
Yeah.
he was shaking.
Oh, yeah.
Have you guys
You could
ever
hear it on his mic,
Have
like
you
that.
ever shook like
yeah.
that?
I have.
I have.
Oh, I have. I think it was with you.
Baby.
It's like your entire body gets so tense when
Yeah.
you're that heartbroken, and then like the tense
It's
leads
like
to this.
convulsion.
Well, think
Yeah.
about what's going on in his head. He thinks it's Cassie at that point. He's got all this pressure of being the Bachelor. He thinks he's about to be happy, and now he's like, "What do I do? I mean,
She was the one.
Yeah.
Now I'm screwed.
you can't pick either of the other two girls at this point. I mean, you can't go back to Tasha. You can't pick Hannah G.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. Like
Or Hannah G.
I eliminate
She'll be
them
fine in
from
paradise.
contention,
Right.
don't you?
Oh,
like
yeah.
I can't imagine. He can't. He
No,
can't.
he can't go back now.
Imagine if you pick one of them and then they watch this.
I know.
Bye-bye, Colton.
Consolation prize.
You know what I loved about that, and you said it was the most real, and I think it was the most real too, because you can tell, and they showed it, which is a testament to The Bachelor. Not only was he upset about the situation, he was pissed off at production,
And-
and they showed it.
Did
Yeah.
you see him looking
Oh,
off
yeah.
the camera
Oh.
at them like this?
That,
yeah.
that might be my favorite moment in
That's my
Bachelor
favorite
history,
moment.
because he's looking at Cassie, and then she says something
I
about,
know.
oh, the dad came.
Yeah.
And he
No, he
literally
said,
goes like
"Were you
this and
planning on
looks at
leaving?"
all the producers
Right.
and looked back at Cassie, and it was like,
That
he
was a very
is
produced.
so mad
thing.
right now.
They flew the dad from California to Portugal.
I know. It's not.
I mean,
It's not like they could look at him and be like, Colton, we had no idea
yeah.
that was showing up.
Dad just he moseyed over. You know?
I was in the neighborhood, so I figured I'd stop by, see how things are going,
So
guys.
if I was Colton, I would feel like either the dad or Cassie or the production team just was trying to screw me at this point.
Yeah.
Because that is quite the gesture.
Well, that's why I jumped.
Oh, that's why he was literally like, I'm done, and he left.
He wasn't
It
running
was
from the
betrayal.
situation, he was running from
Yeah.
production. It looked
Yeah.
like.
Yeah.
But, you know, I still want to give production credit. They would have been, if not happier, if he just had his happily ever after. They're like, no, this drama's way too good.
No, I'll give credit to production, The Bachelor show, for showing all of that.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Because that, they could have easily just put it off as if he was mad at Cassie and kept the drama on that, but they showed the entire situation, which
Yeah.
made it the most real. So I give a lot of credit to the show.
Yeah, I mean, they made good TV, regardless of how it
It
happened.
was
I mean,
such good TV. Okay, so the fence jump.
It was very swift. I know, I'm so distracted by
I know,
the
I
world
just-
right now. Hi, baby.
hi, Emmy.
How
Hi.
impressive
I
it
know.
was.
Okay, so you guys, what about when she's saying goodbye to him? She said two things that were just like, oh my goodness.
Oh, bad.
One, she goes, I want you to find someone who's as insanely in
Oh, yeah.
so insanely in love with you. It's like, Cassie, you're already leaving. You already told him that you
Dagger.
weren't there yet,
Twist.
but could not.
Did you see him bite his tongue at that moment
Oh,
too? It was
yeah.
like, yeah, he totally held back.
Yeah, and I'm glad that he said, well, that's heartbreaking, because that's the worst
Yeah.
thing you can say. You don't have to dig it in any further.
Yeah.
He was
And
pissed.
then she goes, are you mad at me?
That might be my hello, baby. Hello. It's a baby. That might be the most mad I was throughout the entire episode when she was leaving and she said, "Are you mad at me?" And it was like, get in the car, Cassie, and just go. And I feel bad that we're bashing Cassie because I'm sure she's very nice.
How can we not bash Cassie? She should have left.
But that is the most 23-year-old thing I've ever heard in my entire life. Are you mad at me? Oh, I don't know. You just broke my heart and I was in love with you, but now you're leaving. Yeah, I might be a little bit mad at you. Why don't you just go in the car and we'll go in our separate ways.
And then he goes, I love you, and she goes, I love you too, and gets in the car.
Oh, I know, right? And then when she gets in the car, she doesn't even seem that torn up. She's like, I feel bad for the way it went down. Not like I'm sorry that I broke his heart or that I led him on or anything like that.
I just think she comes off almost as like the youngest out of the whole group.
Oh my goodness.
So I don't know if it's this relationship inexperience, because she said she's only had one other boyfriend or something like that. So, but it definitely showed.
I was a young 23. Obviously, I was a young 26 when I was on the show. But and I'm not saying I'd be any better than her at 23, but I know that I couldn't do the show at that age.
I agree. Thinking of the 23-year-old me, the version of me on this show, no way. I would be horrible. I would be exactly like Cassie. So I'm almost not blaming Cassie because she's just who she is.
Right.
But even watching the interaction between Dad and Cassie, it felt like a dad talking to his younger daughter. Like, it's gonna sound maybe like a high school relationship. Are you really in love with him, or is this just infatuation and maybe it's moving too quickly?
Right.
That's what it kind of felt like to me.
She obviously took his advice way more seriously than maybe someone that would be older with more life experience.
Which she should. Yeah. I'm not saying she shouldn't take her dad's advice.
Because he has her best interest at heart.
Of course.
If you can't trust your parents, who can you? So I get why. She's going to really
I've never listened to my parents when it comes to relationships. I was always like, okay, cool, yep, gonna go do it anyway.
Yeah, but you know what? I told Colton, and not knowing how this all unfolds, and he really clarified. He was like, well, who knows what I'm doing right now, right? But I was like, you can look at Jared and I for a little bit of hope, because I left Jared during Bachelor in Paradise 2 being like, I just need you to give me more of a chance. I just need more time. I know we have something. You're just not seeing it because I need more time to let you know me.
Colton could be you and Cassie could be Jared.
That's what I mean.
It's fair.
Well, that's the thing. We were talking about love doesn't, her dad was talking about instant soul connections.
No.
That doesn't happen in every relationship.
I don't like that advice.
It takes time for
horrible advice.
I really liked Cassie's dad in the hometowns when he was just so real and he looks like a guy, all those comments. But I didn't like that he was trying to force whatever Cassie's future husband into this love at first sight box. That doesn't always happen that way.
No, I think it's 50% of the time. Right. My parents, it was immediate. With you guys, it was immediate. But I feel like half the stories you hear is oh, we were friends first, or I never imagined ending up with him.
Right. To defend Cassie's dad to a certain extent, he did say that he was hoping that she would feel that way towards him. So maybe he was speaking in terms of how fast this whole process is.
Right.
So maybe he was saying, if you don't feel this way now, I don't know how you're going to feel in 2 weeks when you might get engaged. Maybe, I don't know.
Well, he made a comment too that during the hometown, it just felt awkward or a little weird. It wasn't quite that spark or comfortableness. But if remember, this is a TV show. Maybe they were a little nervous. Maybe it was a little awkward because you got cameras in your face.
Totally.
You can't compare real life to the
and
show.
Sometimes you're so awkward because it means so much to you. It could have been Colton was this is the one I really want to impress, so he was extra nervous and it just felt weird.
Yes, I agree.
That was
everything that was just said.
I was at myself for months.
Yeah. No, I agree. And then the reason I say that it felt like when I was watching Cassie's dad and Cassie interact that it was kind of like a dad with a younger daughter type conversation was because usually in those situations, I'm sure you guys have all had talks with your parents, there is a dialogue. When you get older, you get a little bit more knowledgeable, you kind of know some things, so you can actually talk to your parents about how you're feeling and what you're going through. With this, it did feel as if he was just talking to her and she's like, you're right, you're right, you're right. And then even later in the night, Colton was like, we can move at different paces. We don't need to get engaged. I want to work on this with you. And she's like, nope, 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 nope. And it really bugged me because 2 weeks before, Cassie was saying, I went back and watched the episodes a little bit because I'm so invested in this.
Die-hard fan over here.
I took a nap and he woke up. He was like, I did my research.
Deep dive. I did a deep dive because the week before Hometowns, when her character was being brought into question and he was confronting her about it, Cassie was saying, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you. You're the reason I'm here. I see potential. And she didn't say it directly to Colton, but she was saying it to all the other girls, how everybody was lying and that she actually is ready. and then everything just got flipped on its head, and it's really hard for me to think that it was only because of one conversation with her dad. You know, that was it.
Absolutely wasn't. We already saw the signs at hometown that she wasn't that into him.
I thought so too.
Yeah. All right, I think I have one more question as far as this goes. It's kind of crazy that Colton, like, okay, let me word this differently. When we were first watching the episode the first time around, he was like, obviously, he's got to propose, and like this is just going to go down in flames because he has to propose. And then he says, I'm not going to propose, I'm fine with not proposing. How crazy is it that you think he just went off and said that? Or do you think that production like gave him the okay to say that?
I think Colton went off and said
Oh,
that.
he went rogue.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was just like, I'm taking this into my control. This is my life, and he just went, whatever.
I've hung out with Colton a few times, and he is very true to himself. And I think he was just saying, my life is bigger than the show. I'm gonna do what is best for me, whatever he thinks.
Which I think is so nice because I think there's a whole bunch of situations in the show where you get encouraged to propose when you're like, well, this is not right. This doesn't feel right.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Totally. And even Colton said in the beginning when he first sat down with Cassie, she said that her dad came and he gave that look to like all the people standing around. And then later on, when they were talking, he said, "Let me ask you a question. Did you already make up your mind coming in tonight that you were going to leave?"
Yeah.
And she said something along the lines, I think, like kind of alluding to yes.
No, she just said yes.
Oh, she said yes.
Yeah.
She just went, mm-hmm.
And then he paused, and it was just, you could see him like zoning out for a second, and it looked like again
it's because I don't know if I can get there with you.
Yeah.
and it looked
there.
like again.
I made a comment to Jade. Get there at all, or get there by the end of filming?
Well, that's the thing.
question
She kept
I need.
saying,
Yeah.
she kept reverting to, I can't get there by that. And he's like, no, but I don't need you to. And then she's like, but I can't do it. And then like she finally had to say, like, at all.
She was a girl trying to break up with somebody and looking for any excuse in the book to get out of there.
He was not helping her break up.
Good for him.
I know.
She should have just been straight up and said, listen, I don't have those feelings for you. I thought I did. I was wrong.
Right. Don't try to blame it on other stuff if it's not really there.
And it did seem like she almost tried to blame it on the dad not giving permission for the engagement. Because she said it two or three times in the episode.
She thought that was her plan going in. This is my way out. And then it didn't stick.
Yeah.
Because he kept
Because then
giving
he was
her
like,
other...
we don't need to get engaged.
He was going to give her anything.
Anything.
He was like, I'll put it all out there. He put all his cards out there.
I feel like watching this back, if they do like somehow reconcile this and he like ends up dating her in real life, I don't know that I want him with her.
Yeah?
Well...
You know?
Yeah, I'm just Team Colton at this point. I want what's best for Colton. I mean, he handled himself so well that I would be a little nervous if they ended up together, just because.
I think that she'd really be with him just to like look good and for like the Instagram.
I just think she has a lot of growing up to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't see it lifelong lasting.
I think it's a testament to Colton, how he's been doing this season, that we're all rooting for him.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
So we don't care who he ends up with. We just want him to be happy.
He's crushed. He might be doing my favorite Bachelor job ever.
Yeah,
to be
I know.
honest.
He's up there.
Yeah.
That's great.
All right, well, going from one lead to a possible other lead, Hannah
I saw that tweet
has
today.
been tweeted by Reality Steve to be the next Bachelorette. And I'm like thinking this is a huge win for like all the authentic girls of the world. Like every girl who's like just been like, I don't care what's gonna make me look good or bad on the show. I'm just gonna express how I feel.
Right.
And it kind of is sweet revenge to the girls that go in and they think like, I'm just gonna be sweet and poised and like Caitlyn like. And I have a plan and it's gonna work and I'm gonna be the Bachelorette. It's just so nice to see it totally spun
Yeah,
around.
I mean, she is real. She's not scared to do that whole Hannah Beast thing on camera. If she's not scared to do that,
That's pretty cool.
It'd be really, really exciting to see. I'd be so excited.
it's crazy though. But she almost went home like episode 2, didn't she?
Yeah.
She got the first one-on-one.
First one on
I thought he
West.
was kicking her to the curb that day for sure. And now she's. It's almost like a grocery store Joe kind of trajectory.
Totally.
You know?
Now she's in the running for the Bachelorette. Could be.
Yeah, she got eliminated week 5, so or like she was in that before hometowns
Right,
week
hometowns, yeah.
elimination, and that's like is that the first time since Brit that a Bachelorette was eliminated before
She
hometowns?
finished in 7th.
You were officially calling her 7th place.
Who, Hannah,
Hannah B or Britt?
So Hannah B is 7th place.
Yeah, that's like Juan Pablo.
We've never had that.
Hannah
That is like
Beast.
Juan Pablo.
She's just like the Rocky of the Bachelor franchise.
Yeah.
Underdog, no one sees her coming.
she
And then here
really
she comes with the
almost
left
got
hook.
eliminated.
Oh yeah, I thought she was going.
I thought she was too.
I like it though because this could be like a whole new like thing for the Bachelor or the Bachelorette if they're picking people who are authentic and who don't have a strategy or a plan or how they're going to present themselves or more just authentic. And I feel like that's what we saw with Colton at the end of this episode, and I feel like that's something that I really liked. So maybe if they do pick Hannah B, it's going to be something completely refreshing. Which the show desperately needs.
I know, but it's going to be I mean, we've had some really raw, authentic bachelorettes, you know, like Rachel and Andy and like Caitlin. You know, like they always the female lead always seems to like shine.
Right.
But I'm just very excited. I think she's gonna.
I mean, we'll find out next week.
She's no Chloe, you know, but I'll watch.
That would have been the most talked about. You even said it. The most talked about television event past.
Like
ever.
Yeah, that'd be like a Super Bowl if Chloe was the Bachelor. But anyway, she's not. And she is going to be maybe the youngest Bachelor as well at 24 and a half.
Oh, I didn't realize that. For some reason I pictured her a little older.
But I will say with the Southern background, you know, people get married a lot younger in the South. And while I've been saying that I don't want a young Bachelorette the entire time, Hannah B has always been my exception to that when I'm talking.
I'm curious. I would love to see this footage. Didn't supposedly though Hannah B go crash Hannah G's hometown?
Yeah.
Yeah, I read that somewhere, and then the show edited that out.
Did she crash it or did
showed up on it? Did something?
No, I think she showed up at his hotel that night.
Right.
Because he was in Alabama and she showed up.
Somehow did that, and then all of a sudden that doesn't get aired, which maybe they were trying to like avoid a storyline to make her this.
Yeah.
So that kind of comes together. I don't know if it's even true. I just read that somewhere.
Yeah, that's
usually what you read online must be true.
Obviously.
I will say during Women Tell All, she was very careful about her words.
Yeah.
Like, so careful to a fault.
Right.
Where she's like, oh, I don't want to get in trouble and have to have a live confrontation.
I heard they told that to Caitlin before our season that hey, tone it down during Tell All.
Was very quiet.
They told her. I know for a fact they told her that.
I think they told Ben the same thing.
Yeah, because they don't want anything.
Yeah, don't say anything
muddy the water.
Yeah, but I also think that Hannah is she doesn't like confrontation. I don't think she wanted to get in a girl fight with Kaylin or anyone else.
Yeah.
So
that's very interesting.
Lots going on.
Lots of juicy stuff happening.
All right, guys, do you want to plug anything?
No.
Okay.
All right, well, see you later.
Bye.
Thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it, like it, and subscribe. And if you want more Bachelor content, head over to Access Online.